It's Monday, January 15. In the headlines, Prime Minister Andrew Holness speaks on conflict resolution. The Jamaica Labour Party confirms local elections set for this year. In business news, S Hotel Montego Bay awarded Best All-Inclusive Caribbean Resort in 2024. Regionally, Caribbean economy is expected to grow by 4.1% in 2024. And in sports, Dujan Whisper Richards officially signs with Chelsea FC. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Jamaica will be observing Earthquake Awareness Day in schools on January 17, and schools across Jamaica are expected to conduct earthquake safety drills to mark the event. The Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management launched the Earthquake Awareness Campaign on January 14, 2024 under the theme, Drop, Cover, Hold. Earthquake readiness is within our control, with a series of activities scheduled until January 31. The exercise will involve employees, teachers, and students protecting themselves by using the drop, cover, and hold on safety procedure during simulated earthquake alarms. Activities for the ODPEM Earthquake Awareness 2024 campaign will culminate with a road show on Wednesday, January 31. For additional information, persons can contact the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management at 876-906-9674-5 or email them. According to scientists, dozens of earthquakes occur daily. How much do you know about earthquakes and what we should do when they occur? Let's learn more about this from Denise Rodney.
Unlike hurricanes, earthquakes do not have a season. According to Carleen Black, scientific officer at the Earthquake Unit, earthquakes can happen at any time.
So what persons need to bear in mind is that earthquakes can happen at any time. There is no season for earthquakes. It has nothing to do with the weather. It has nothing to do with the heat. It can just happen like that.
So, what do you do in the event an earthquake occurs? If you are in a car, pull over and stop. Set your parking brake. If you are in bed, turn face down and cover your head and neck with a pillow. If you are outdoors, stay outdoors away from buildings. If you are inside, stay and do not run outside. Avoid windows and doors. Do not stand in front of heavy furniture. And remember to stay calm. After the earthquake stops, conduct a safety check. Check yourself and others for injuries. Provide first aid for anyone who needs it. Get help if needed. If you are trapped, cover your mouth, nose, and eyes against dust. Send a text and make noise to alert rescuers to your location. Prepare for aftershocks. And stay connected. If you have access to a battery-operated radio, perhaps in your car or television, update yourself on the latest emergency information. Reporting for the news on PBCJ, I'm Denise Rodney.
As a nation, we must urgently address these issues to safeguard the well-being of our youth and foster a safer environment for all. Those words from Prime Minister Andrew Holness as he addressed students at Manchester High School last week. While refraining from addressing the recent death of a 14-year-old at 100 Lane on Red Hills Road, St. Andrew, Mr. Holness noted the constant negative fate of Jamaican males.
I can't comment on the circumstances, but I will say this to you, especially to the 14-year-old boys who are here. In Jamaica, 90%, well, more than 90% of crimes committed, particularly serious crime, murders and shootings, are by males. A significant percentage, I don't have the exact figure, but I would venture to say that more than 50% of the shootings and murders are by males under 24. The other side of the equation is also true, that males, young males, are predominantly the victims of crime.
He says one of the main issues is the lack of conflict resolution skills.
We have a problem with violence. We also have a problem with our young men in conflict and using violence and being the victims of violence.
The 14-year-old boy, Raheem Wilson, was fatally shot by the police in his yard at 100 Lane on Red Hills Road, St. Andrew last week. The police say the teen was shot in a shootout with cops. However, his grandmother and residents have denied that. Local government elections are due by February 28, and Jamaica Labour Party leader and Prime Minister Andrew Holness has declared that his party's political machinery is ready. His comments were noted in a statement from the party on Sunday evening. There was no indication when a date for the elections will be announced. Local government elections, which are constitutionally due every 4 years, were last held in November 2016. They were due to be held in November 2020, but were postponed because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Some 228 divisions and the leadership of 40 municipal bodies, including the Portmore municipality, which directly elects its mayor, will be up for grabs in the local polls. The keys for the 179th and 180th homes under the government's new social housing program to two physically challenged beneficiaries in St. Elizabeth were handed over on Friday. A one-bedroom home was handed over to Wellesley Mackenzie of Lacovia, while Winston Williams and his family, who reside in Cameron Hill District, received a three-bedroom unit. Prime Minister Andrew Holness, who was present at the handover, emphasized the importance of integrating wheelchair and disabled access into the design of the housing units. This consideration, he says, aligns with the government's commitment to ensuring that support reaches those who truly require it. The NSHP was established in 2018 by Prime Minister Andrew Holness as the housing component of the Housing Opportunity Production and Employment Program. It was developed to improve the living conditions of the country's poor and disadvantaged population by providing quality, affordable, and sustainable housing. More than 30,000 applications for contribution refunds were received by the National Housing Trust within the first 3 days of January this year. That's a word from the NHT. The trust says more than 17,000 of these applications were submitted on January 1. Contributions made to the NHD up to 2016 became available on January 1.
January is generally our busiest refund period, but a reminder to our contributors that you really can apply for your contributions refund anytime during the year, and not just during that year, anytime after the refund period has begun for that particular year. So in other words, we're refunding 2016 now, but you can apply for 2016, 2015, 14, and any other earlier year that you have not applied for.
Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Good day, everyone, and thank you for joining us on the Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, your guide through the latest happenings in the world of business. Caribbean real estate values are expected to rise by 5% each year over the next 5 years. The value of residential real estate market is projected to reach US $1.82 trillion in 2024, according to research firm Statista.com. The value is expected to show an annual growth rate for the period of 2024 to 2028 of 4.5%, resulting in market volume of US $2.17 trillion by 2028. A survey of prices by real estate firm Seventh Heaven Properties shows the starting prices across the Caribbean. St. Vincent and the Grenadines resort beachfront bungalows start at US $195,000. Emerald Vista St. Lucia property prices start at $393,000 US. Grosvenor Vistas Manor Park, Jamaica sees prices for apartments starting at US $485,000. St. Regis Cap Cana in the Dominican Republic see its luxury apartment starting at US $1 million. Sterling Commons Paradise Landing, Paradise Island in the Bahamas sees their condominium starting at US $1.1 million. Beach Houses at Falmouth Harbor in Antigua is a development of 12 secluded beach homes, which comes in with an investment of US $1.8 million. The Villas at Blue Mountain, Turks and Caicos is a development located at the north shore of Providenciales. The properties there start at US $3.1 million. Jamaica received a significant international accolade as S Hotel in Montego Bay secured the coveted title of Best All-Inclusive Caribbean Resort in the 2024 USA Today's 10 Best Readers' Choice Awards. USA Today, a globally recognized newspaper in the United States, is known for its prestigious Readers' Choice Awards, which acknowledges excellence in various categories. This accomplishment adds to S Hotel's impressive track record, having previously attained first place as Best Hotel in the Caribbean and ranked 16th place in the Best Hotels of the World in the Condé Nast 2023 Reader's Choice Awards. During trading on January 12, 2024, the top advancing stocks covered the insurance and financial sectors on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Caribbean Assurance Brokers Limited shares advanced 9.76% to move up by 20 cents on its previous price to close at $2.25 with 500 shares traded. General Accident Insurance Company Jamaica Limited shares advanced 8.96%, which led to a 44-cent increase in price to close at $5.35 with 6,000 shares traded. ISP Finance Services Limited shares advanced 7.2% for a jump of $1.80 in price to close at $26.80 with 200 shares traded. On the declining stocks that traders experienced on January 12, 2024, the utilities sector led the way. JPS 7% stock declined by 14.65% for a $7.21 slide to close at $42 with 870 shares traded. Consolidated Bakeries, known as Purity, declined by 14.55% for a decline of 32 cents to close at $1.88 with 210 shares traded. AMG Packaging and Paper Company Limited declined by 12.68% for a 35-cent fall to close at $2.41 with 569,000 shares traded. Over to the Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Trading activity on the first-tier market registered a volume of 88,600 shares, crossing the floor of the exchange, valued at 1.695 million Trinidad and Tobago dollars. Massey Holdings was the volume leader with 30,400 shares changing hands for a value of 135,000 TT dollars, followed by National Enterprises Limited with a volume of 15,500 shares being traded for 56,000 TT dollars. Calypso Macro Index Fund was the only active security on the mutual fund market, posting a volume of 240 shares valued at 5,640 Trinidad dollars. Moving from the money moves of investors, executives, and companies that are making waves on the regional stock markets, we turn to the Forex market. On January 12, 2024, the Bank of Jamaica reported that US $22 million was bought from Forex traders, while US $29.1 million was sold to Forex traders. Buying directly from the Bank of Jamaica, foreign currency traders sold the US for $155.94 and bought the US dollar for $154.53. The difference for every buy and sell rate was $1.41, which represents a profit for Forex traders on every dollar sold. Canadian Forex traders earned a profit of $5.09 from transactions with the Bank of Jamaica. The Canadian dollar was sold at $119.56 and bought for $114.47. For traders looking at the British pound, they pocketed a profit of $8.78, selling the pound for $202.26 and buying the British pound for $193.48. For our credit report tip of the day, debt consolidation is a financial strategy that brings together multiple debts into a single, manageable payment. It sounds like a lifeline, but what about its impact on that all-important three-digit number we call a credit score? Well, it will have a credit inquiry impact. When you are applying for a new loan or credit card for consolidation, this can result in a hard inquiry on your credit report, which may cause a temporary dip in your score. Account closure impact. Closing old credit accounts after consolidation might shorten your credit history, affecting the length of your credit profile, which is another influencing factor of your credit score. Mismanagement risk. If not handled with discipline, debt consolidation can backfire. Missing payments on the new consolidated loan can lead to more significant credit damage. And with that, we wrap up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams. Appreciate your company. Stay well informed, stay ahead of the curve. Until our next update, take care.
In regional news, in Barbados, people are being urged to take steps to minimize the possibility of being slipped the party drug Rohypnol. The advice from the Substance Abuse Prevention Officer with the National Council on Substance Abuse, Makeda Bourne. She says when added to a liquid, Rohypnol, commonly referred to as the date rape drug, does not alter the way it looks, smells, or tastes.
Some people might think they are drunk when necessarily might not be so, but a person can behave as if they were intoxicated. Persons then may stumble to a bathroom or restroom because they're feeling unwell. And unfortunately, it is at this point some persons may take advantage of persons to rape them. And that is why it's also nicknamed the date rape drug as well. And then, unfortunately, Rohypnol is one that when a person gets up the next day, it affects their memory. So their short-term memory will be impacted by this drug. They will have flashes of things. They may have memories, short cuts of memories, but the day or the night, that period they had the drug, is distorted. Some persons have called the NCSA with the feeling. Some persons may just feel like, I feel very unwell the next day. Put it down probably just the alcohol and did not know. And some people, because they feel ashamed or embarrassed, they choose not to go to get a medical professional look at them to let them know if in fact they have been drugged. So those are some of the things we want you to know, that if you feel you are a victim of Rohypnol, that you do seek medical professional immediately, because it's something that is not going to stay in your system too long.
With the exception of Guyana, which is experiencing a resource boom, Caribbean economies are expected to grow by 4.1% in 2024 and 3.9% in 2025, partly due to the ongoing expansion of the tourism sector. SKN Newsline has the details.
This is according to the World Bank, that issued its global and regional economic outlook earlier this week. However, the World Bank warns that the projected modest regional expansion is beset by risks. Escalating geopolitical tensions, especially in the Middle East, could disrupt energy markets and cause oil prices to surge. Extreme weather events, intensified by climate change, present additional risks, particularly to climate-sensitive sectors such as agriculture, energy, and fishing. External factors, the World Bank noted, and global trends also contribute to the risk landscape. Persistent core inflation in advanced economies could be accompanied by persistently high global interest rates, constraining monetary and fiscal policies in the region. Furthermore, a sharper than expected slowdown in China growth could have notable spillovers to external demand, impacting the region's commodity exports. Overall, the World Bank is projecting a 2% economic growth for the Caribbean and Latin American region for 2024, noting that while the lingering effects of previous monetary tightening will continue to influence near-term growth, their impact is expected to diminish. As inflation slows, central banks are expected to reduce interest rates, alleviating obstacles to interest growth, the World Bank added. For Central America, steady growth is envisioned with the rates of 3.7% in 2024 and 3.8% in 2025. The outlook is supported by a moderate increase in remittances, particularly in 2024. Regarding the global economy, the World Bank projects the slowest half-decade of GDP growth in 30 years. Global growth is projected to slow for the third year in a row from 2.6% last year to 2.4% in 2024, almost 3/4 of a percentage point below the average of the 2010s. Developing economies are projected to grow just 3.9%, more than 1 percentage point below the average of the previous decade. Meanwhile, the World Bank says developing countries will need to deliver a formidable increase in investments, about $2.4 trillion per year, to address the impact of climate change on developing countries.
The inclusion of new and progressive technology is a central part of the government's master plan for improving the security architecture of Guyana. This information from Vice President Dr. Barata Jagdeo, who notes that to support the use of the new technologies, modern infrastructure has become necessary.
Have you gone to like Scotland Yard? I've gone there and seen how operations are done. The central police station, it might be 12 stories high, but it would be the nerve center for crime fighting across the country. And in a modern environment, we have to support the technology will support it. It has to be bolstered by good quality forensic labs. We're already putting in security cameras with facial recognition software. We're working on a biometric project that would allow us to know every person in Guyana, every criminal in Guyana who has a record, we can pinpoint where they are at any moment in time. Through facial recognition software, we'd be able to track every person who comes into our country who overstays their visa or anything else. All of that being worked in at different pieces.
A new Cuban ambassador has begun service to Grenada, marking another chapter in bilateral relations between the two countries, which date back to 1979.
On Friday, Grenada welcomed Her Excellency Miss Yvette Martinez Leyva, Ambassador-designate of the Republic of Cuba to Grenada. In a beautiful exchange of cultural gifts, Her Excellency Miss Yvette Martinez Leyva congratulated Grenada on its 50th anniversary of independence. She's keenly anticipating the celebration of the 45th year of diplomatic relations with Cuba on April 14th. Cuba continues to provide technical assistance to Grenada in the areas of health, agriculture, as well as contributing to education through scholarships and other training programs for Grenadian students. Her Excellency was pleased to report that arrangements for patients seeking medical treatment are very favorable and looks forward to further assisting Grenadians who are so desirous. Her Excellency also pledged Cuba's support for scholarships to Grenadian students, which are offered annually through the Ministry of Education. Christina John, GBN News.
In sports, Jamaican footballer Dujan Whisper Richards has officially completed his move to Chelsea. Chelsea Football Club is an English professional football club based in Fulham, West London. According to a Chelsea Chronicle report, the young forward, who was among a number of exciting young talent recruited by Chelsea from all over the world, has progressed rapidly since his arrival at the West London club late last year. And expectations for his future with the side are high, especially as he continues to improve in his craft. Richards is making the move after years of training at Jamaican-based Phoenix Academy. Richards had signed with Chelsea in June of last year and trained with the first team squad during the club's pre-season tour of the United States. During that announcement, Chelsea had said that Richards would join the club after his 18th birthday in November. Craig Butler, founder and chief executive officer of Phoenix All-Stars Football Academy, congratulated Richards on his achievement. Guyana will host 6 matches at the upcoming World T20 in June. 5 group matches and a semi-final, 1 at the National Stadium Providence. However, Minister of Culture, Youth and Sports Charles Ramson Jr. indicated on Friday that they would have preferred to host more big-ticket matches to attract more persons to the country, given the investment to host the global tournament.
It's not the number of matches that I'm not satisfied with. I'm not satisfied with the teams based on the groups that were assigned to Guyana. And when the government looks to get for the country an international tournament like this, you want the big ticket games coming to the country. And even if you don't get all of the big ticket games, you still want at least a few, so that persons from all around the world will look at that and say, I want to go and see those games outside of the locals, right? With locals, we're gonna be excited for cricket, international cricket, regardless. But when you examine who West Indies is playing, or where the big names like the Indias, the Pakistans, the Australias, etc., where are they playing? A lot of the games for India and Pakistan went to the United States of America. So now we have to compete with on the market share for cricket. We're now competing with the US. So it's not just about the number of games. We knew in advance what were the likely outcomes if we were to succeed on the number of games that we would get. I think ICC has to be cognizant of the fact that we are small territories, that these types of events make a big impact to the country in many ways, some quantifiable, some non-quantifiable. So the type of games that are assigned to smaller types of territories are very important for them.
Following a drawn 3-day warm-up game against Cricket Australia 11, Captain Craig Brathwaite says West Indies are quite clear on playing the team for the first test against Australia starting January 16 in Adelaide. Newsroom Guyana caught up with Barbadian cricketer over the weekend.
Yeah, I think we as a team very pleased. The facilities here were outstanding, and the boys made good use of it.
And yourself personally, a nice 50 in the first innings. That was enough for you. Didn't have to bat in the second innings.
Yeah, I felt good. I think it was important for Joshua, to get some bat in the second innings. So it was a very good game for us.
Joshua batted beautifully, 105. He looked really composed and balanced through the whole innings. He's obviously happy as well.
Yeah, I think he took it, with both hands, the opportunity to open, and he batted for a long period, which is what he wanted in Test cricket. So that was good to see.
Good performance from Justin Greaves as well, 65 and 41 not out. He was good as well.
Yeah, obviously he's a quality cricketer. I'm pretty much not surprised by what he did, and I look forward to his future in West Indies cricket.
Yeah, and Hodge also missed out on 100 today, out for 99, but at 50 in the first innings, you must be pleased with his performance too.
Yeah, very pleased with this. He's hungry, he's sure to come again in the second innings and do it. That's what we want in this team. So I think the boys did a good job.
And that's it for the news on PBCJ. Thanks for watching.